What's happening, people? Welcome.
Well, how far did we get in?
About 5 minutes.
Bit of context. We weren't recording the first 5
Got
minutes.
to press record.
Yeah. So we'll start again.
It's just classic TSF though, isn't
Fucking
it?
great intro too as well. I was on fire. I was popping off jokes left, right and centre.
I know.
You know, it was amazing. So, Talk Scottish Football, we're back. I've been on 3 shows in a row now, I think.
Yeah, I missed last week.
Flying.
Just slaving away, mate.
I was thinking this last week actually, I was thinking to myself, who's been on the most videos on the channel? It must be me by a country mile.
I've got to be up there now, to be fair.
I missed a few podcasts that Ryan was on, but I've done videos that he wasn't on, like standalone videos.
Yeah, and the live streams and all that sort of stuff.
Live streams and stuff. Yeah, it must be me.
Aye. Last week was the first studio show that I missed, actually.
Yeah, you'll be catching up though. You won't be far away.
Yeah. How's your week been anyway?
Amazing. What a weekend. I'm representing the colours today. I guess he tracks it on. We had a big win at the weekend. 1-0 away from home. On a ground we'd never won. Jamie McGregor, player manager, scored a fucking screamer. What a goal by Tam. It was amazing. We won. Next week we've got pretty much a title decider at home. Mm-hmm. And it's good. We're flying. The boys always moan at me for not giving them enough of a shout out, so that's it. But then the funny thing is, so that this game was on you ever been to Sky, Isle of Skye?
I have actually. It was brilliant.
This is the league we play on over there, so I was there on the Isle of Skye playing. Well, I wasn't playing, I was shouting at them while they played.
Must be hard playing on the quarrying though. Must be hard to get a wee kick about at the ferry pools, man. You see, it's a nightmare in the summer, all the traffic going to the ferry pools. Anyway, so we played the game. The game was played there, 2 o'clock kickoff, I think it was. Finished the game, and then me and a mate drove straight back down to Glasgow, out in the town. It was just what a weekend. You know, all the best he's in, mate. We need to cover some of the stuff we obviously already covered.
Jeez,
the noise outside. Ryan, my mate's out there doing his techie project.
Yeah.
Or is it apprentice joiner he's becoming into?
Apparently so.
Apprentice joiner, I think he's putting some hinges on some doors and that outside.
He's building his new specs outside.
Exactly. But
heavy duty.
They are actually making the HQ for G4 Claims.
Yeah. They just don't stop this mob. Honest to Christ.
The only place I didn't like seeing G4 Claims at the weekend, but you know they're everywhere, aren't they? Was on the Stephen O'Donnell post-match interview in the Motherwell socials.
They had they got an advertising board at Ibrox as well.
Aye. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it's,
they've got them at Ibrox or on the back of the Motherwell top. They're at Parkhead. I'd imagine they're in other places as well. So they're absolutely flying. They help us out a lot.
Absolutely.
So we need to give them a shout out when we're in here using their top facilities.
It's quite weird looking at the living room in the flat now where the backdrop used to be. And
what used to be. I
actually watched I recommended YouTube yesterday, like an old show from back in the flat, and it's just like.
You just watching it back?
Yeah, just clicking on it.
The evolution of David Buick.
It's just strange to see where we've come from, you know what I'm saying?
And where we're going to end up.
Yeah. You know, one thing that hasn't changed throughout the whole of TSF as a thing is that since we started, Falkirk have been shite.
Yeah.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah, you've been gagging to get into that, haven't you?
Can't wait.
Now that you've got a draw, you're world beaters again.
Oh, what a team we are, by the way. Yeah,
listen,
what a result.
Peter Grant's sexy fit butt is back.
Yeah. No, it's not. Do you think people are going to be able to hear that?
I think so, but I think we'll just need to bear with it.
Anyway, yeah.
Classic TSF, innit?
Classic TSF. We're just all over the place. Anyway, yeah, we'll come with Dunfermline. Who are we going to start with? Start with Dundee Derby.
Start with the Dundee Derby.
What was your highlight of the game? Because there's one standout highlight in that game that I need to talk about.
Highlight of the game?
It wasn't actually anything to do with the football.
Right, you'll tell me. Right. Let me think.
After Ian Hart's goal goes in, did you hear the goal music?
No.
They had Hulk Hogan's theme tune from the wrestling, I Am a Real American. It was fucking hilarious. Only American guy in the pitch scores the goal and they're playing I Am a Real... brilliant.
It's not that. Hawks doesn't get a lot of goals, so they've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
He saved the best for their biggest game,
yes,
though.
I think the goalie should save it, though, no?
Yeah, I think so. He hits it well, but the goalie's got to save it for me.
It's just magic to have had with the Edinburgh Derby last week, which was obviously it was a draw, but it was a decent draw, loads of chances. It was a decent game as well. I mean, especially at the end, there was big chances for Dundee to nick a point.
I'm just glad that there was a goal in this game, though. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, as you say, it is good having these derbies and that, but you want to have
a winner. You
still want to have goals, don't you?
Yeah. And
you want to have that
packed Tannadice. What a really good atmosphere. And it's just, I said at the start of the season, we were all so excited about the Premiership this season because of the quality of the team and having these big games back, and yeah, it's just magic.
I'm just finding it impossible of who I'm going to back to go down at the moment, because I thought Dundee were really good in the game. Like,
they had a lot of chances, as you say. They're creating a lot of chances. The acquisitions that they've brought into their squad, I think, are quality players as well.
You can see Griffiths is getting there, and he will start scoring.
He had the header, didn't he, for the cross? Which
he's obviously not sharp yet, but
it was very close.
I can't not see if he plays like even half their games this season. I would be amazed if they went down, because he will start scoring.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've also got Jason Cummings there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They've got quality,
and they brought on Killian Sheridan, who had a great opportunity.
Right end, didn't he? Yeah, they ended up with those three, and it's just like they've got decent firepower.
That saved the 3 points for Dundee United. It was a tackle for Charlie Mulgrew.
Yeah, oh, what a
Killian
tackle.
Sheridan, he was through. And he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that definitely. McGinley was was it Twitter or the WhatsApp? I don't know.
WhatsApp link.
And he was just saying what a signing he's been. To be fair, and I don't think anybody doubted how
backline in general has been brilliant. I think, but especially remember against Rangers, Ryan Edwards was unbelievable. Mulgrew was great. Dundee United, the teams that I'm really worried about this season were Dundee United and Motherwell, both flying. I think, doing really, really well, and I think both will be fine. And you mentioned there about trying to figure out who will go down this year. Livy win at the weekend. County got a really good point against Hearts, who you would look to as the two. Now, it's going to be tough, because I said at the start, you're going to have loads of teams fighting for top 6. Still on, isn't it? Like, there's loads of teams that could do it if they find a run of form.
It looks like Celtic will be fighting for top 6
even St Johnstone I was worried about, and then they go and win at Pittodrie.
Yeah, it's obviously
good.
Still early doors, isn't it?
It's the most evenly matched Premiership, I think, in a
so
long
far.
time.
It's weird that, as we say before this, none of the supposed big teams won at the weekend, really.
How many games are we now in the Premiership? 6?
I think that's 5 now.
5.
That's 5, so 5 games.
Normally after 5 games you'd start to see Celtic and Rangers pull away. Even that early on you normally would.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just not happening yet.
In a year where Celtic have already been beat 3 times, Rangers are only 4 points clear of them. And I think a point ahead of Hibs and Hearts, 2 points ahead of Motherwell. If Motherwell beat Rangers at the weekend there, they'd have went top of the league. So
that is good.
It was a weekend for the underdogs, you could say, as well.
Do you think this will keep up this season? Obviously, the Celtic and Rangers are going to pull away.
Yeah, I mean, let's move on to the Motherwell game then. Motherwell and Rangers.
The Motherwell game?
Aye, we'll talk the Motherwell game. Well, I'm a Rangers thing, isn't it? So
we're a boy from Motherwell Park, so we'll call it that.
We are, aye. As you say, it's keep them up. I think Motherwell will obviously continue to do well and all that sort of stuff, but I thought Rangers, especially in the first half, they played some really nice stuff. Probably the best I've seen them this season so far. That might be a big claim, considering it was only 1-0 going into the half. An offside goal, obviously, which we could touch on.
Aye.
Motherwell fans won't be happy with that. But I thought Rangers played some really nice stuff in the first half. Maybe a little bit of complacency in the second half. Thought the game was done, dropped the level. And as I was saying to you in the car ride over, you can't drop the level against Motherwell with Rangers unless you get Cedric Eaton on the bench to come on and and save you, because they always get a goal against Rangers, and ultimately that happened. I thought Rangers did well getting into the final third, but when they got there, they didn't have the quality, and ultimately Motherwell probably deserved the point because they were clinical with their chance that they did get. It was their first shot on target. They put it away. It was quite well worked. I know that some of the Rangers defensive come in for criticism, and rightfully so. I think they should do better. I think Van Veen done well against Taven out in the wing, cuts it inside. It was a good midfield run. I think Simpson should be over, like he should be a good 5 yards over, and then he should maybe make the decision to take him down. But he doesn't. He goes in, Goldson makes the challenge, and then it's a desire for the boy to get on the end in front of Borna Barisic. So I thought it was a well worked goal for a Motherwell point of view. And
there's actually loads you can touch on from this game. This point is fresh in my mind. Jack Simpson's never a Rangers centre half.
For me, he's no filling me full of confidence, to be honest. And he was having a go at.
He's had enough chances now, I think, too.
Yeah, he was having a go at the other. I've never seen him have really even a solid performance for Rangers. And in that, he should have the awareness. There's been a screenshot, obviously. You can see it yourself, the gap between Connor Goldson and Simpson. He's the one that can see that. As soon as Connor Goldson goes over, it's not then Connor Goldson's job, is it, to say, mate, you follow me as I go and try and win the ball here. It's his job to see that and push himself over. A good 5 yards he's got to be here.
So Leon Balogun was on the bench?
He was on the bench. This has been a running theme, the centre-back rotation for Rangers in the last few years. It happened with Helander and Balogun previously. Helander is now out for the foreseeable future, which is a massive blow. Yeah. So I was expecting Simpson to play, just with the way that the manager does it at the weekend. But after that display, I think Balogun's got to start for me. If Balogun's fit, he's got to start.
So just because I've forgotten, so they've got obviously Hillander's injured, and you've got Simpson and Balogun. Is Katic still there?
Katic is out on loan, which
so
to me looks like a massive OG as well.
They've only got
because
3 fit centre halves just now.
yeah,
See, that's you're
that's not enough.
Exactly, it's not. It's
Get
not
rid of
enough.
George Edmondson.
You know what? The other worry is, and this is the thing that the lucky hasn't happened yet because he's been so colossus. Connor Goldson's played a lot of football over the last since he joined Rangers. He played a lot of football.
Yeah,
and he's not really had an injury.
There's
every chance that could happen.
Yeah, the first time that he missed a game in a long time was the other week there because of COVID.
You've seen it with Celtic just now with Callum McGregor, a guy who's always fit and available, and you don't even think about having a backup for him because you don't need one. And now he's injured, you're like, fuck, we're in trouble here.
Yeah.
And if Connor Goldson goes down with an injury, Rangers are in big trouble.
Well, it would need to be Leon Balogun and Simpson to play, and you can get after that. You can get after that for sure. Stephen Gerrard's already spoke on Nikola Katic, and he said even if he wanted to bring him back, which he doesn't, because for his progression as a football player, he needs to be playing every single week.
Even St. Louis Mayo out on loan again.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even have.
He says even if he wanted to go and get McCanny until January, we obviously the way that the loan stuff works.
Yeah,
so
it's an interesting one.
it is strange, and that's something that Rangers prided themselves on last season, of course. But at this point last season, Rangers had scored 11 goals, conceded none, and at the same point this season, it's 11 goals still, but conceded 5. And it just looks like you can get after this Rangers team at the moment. You can get goals after them, and if they're no clinical, if they're no doing their job on the other side of the park, as Motherwell showed, you can get a goal after them, you can get a point.
I think that Rangers are a little bit lucky that Celtic have been shite recently, and it's a massive missed opportunity by Celtic at the weekend. Not to really
both sides obviously.
Well, yeah,
Celtic
both,
were getting beat fairly
Of course,
on. Rangers were winning till late on.
If you view it as Celtic are the team trying to chase and catch, then it is a massive opportunity for them. From Motherwell in that game, obviously Rangers had enough chances. A point, fair play to Motherwell. They managed the game well. They got the point. A lot of Motherwell fans I've seen on Twitter really happy with Graham Alexander and how he's got the team getting points that they wouldn't have done last year. They would have thrown these things away. Obviously, a few people not happy with some of the tactics they used to win that. I love it. Fair play.
They ripped the arse out it.
Good. They got a point. Fair play to them. Up the road. Delighted for them. Well done, Motherwell. And also, what about that linesman? How has he not seen that that's offside?
It's not even as if Fashion Sakala is moving.
He's standing around.
He's literally there. There's a knock on at the front post. The linesman should look across and he should make that decision. It's an easy decision.
He must just not see him. Or my theory was he thinks somebody's on the post.
Yeah,
which doesn't really make much
wasn't
sense.
Anybody on the post.
There was nobody on the post.
Or was there somebody on the post? We can't even make excuses for him. And I thought the officials were poor all day for both sides. There was a number of times, right, they were getting a decision that you could clearly see wasn't a foul. Then there was other times, and it was happening to Motherwell as well. I remember one on Tony Watt where Connor Goldson comes in and he clears him out and he just doesn't get a foul. I just thought they were just inconsistent, and that just topped it off. That one, that was really, really poor.
Yeah.
Motherwell, there was a couple of like penalty shouts as well in the game. There's one that came off Big Mugabe's arm, which his arm's in an unnatural position, so you should say that's probably a penalty.
Did it come off him onto his arm?
No, it came from a shot that went on his arm. So when he lost the game, I know it's close enough. That's probably a penalty.
What even is a handball though anymore?
I know they change it every fucking 5 minutes. And then there was another one the other side with Tony Watt where Kemar Roof kicks him in the calf, doesn't make contact with it. So that's probably a penalty as well. So all in all, it's not been a great day for the officials in this game.
No,
but as you say, it was a great day for Graham Alexander. Came under a lot of criticism and because of the Betfred Cup and
absolutely fair play to them. What a start to the season he's had. We mentioned at the start of the show, you worried for a lot of these teams and they're all doing really well. And Motherwell are just everyone's favourite club in terms of everything they do. Can't help but love them. And what a start to the season. The fans will be delighted. Big Van Veen is a big fan's favourite.
Which I didn't think he was great at the weekend, really, but he still
need to be against Rangers at Ibrox, so does he? It's not the games he's going to get judged on.
He was still grafting. He was still putting in an effort. He
was involved in the goal. There you
go. He did dive in the first half.
Rangers need a boot up the arse.
Sorry to cut in, but we're overlooking the fact here that it was Flag Day as well.
Yeah, how did you find your experience?
Flag Day, I must say, right, was
flagged up.
as underwhelming as me. And I'm going to say that
after 18 rounds of mini golf.
Yes, exactly. They say there was an email sent out, be in the ground for 2:45 to see the flag unfurled. They did a message and all that. We moved it so that all the season ticket holders can see it and all that. And then Big Douglas just comes out Puts the flag up, that's it. Not a pyrotechnic in sight, Davy.
Disgrace though. They must have just not turned up. That was the theory, wasn't it? They just didn't arrive on time.
That's what I'm thinking of. Amazon delivery driver just didn't turn up with the pyros. No, it was a weird atmosphere for the start. I think things have got to change at Rangers in terms of the atmosphere. The Union Bears sitting BF1 Brimley in front. They make the noise. They try and get the rest of the crowd going. I sit in BF5. I try, but sometimes people are looking at you as if you're a fucking idiot when you're singing. But as I say, I try and sing as well.
Every club's the same though. Trust me, they're all the same.
Yeah, but for me, I know that they've been pushing for safe standing. I think that Rangers need to listen to that and open up the conversation again in terms of safe standing.
It's expensive though.
It is, but
it's not a
they're a
priority.
premier club in the fucking country, so they should be.
It's not a priority for them though financially though. If you're a Rangers board, it's not a priority.
But listen, there was only 44,000 people at the Leon game. That's not a full house.
Yeah,
so see if crowds.
Was absolutely mental. It was tickets still on sale for the day for that.
I don't know if that's because UEFA kept seats back for quite a while. So
they didn't keep that many back though, did they?
I didn't find out I was sitting in my normal seat until like 2 days before.
Right. I just thought I did think that was very, very strange.
It was strange. Normally Rangers would obviously sell it.
Yeah.
But I'm £25 for the Livingston game coming up, and you can get fucking a ticket to watch Man City versus Red Bull Leipzig for 15 quid. So I don't know. I think something needs to change.
Goals in that game.
Exactly. It'll start to affect them if their pockets are affected, and then they might start looking at safe standing. If the overall atmosphere and fan experience isn't where it should be, then it'll start affecting their pockets.
If the fans raise the money for it themselves, I think that'll be the way to do it. I don't really see.
I know, but shouldn't it be?
Yeah, I agree.
Celtic
I
have
do
got
agree. There's been lots of talk about getting safe standing filming for years, and there's a guy who's kind of behind the scenes trying to run that and organise that. But the club is just not a priority for the club. I get Rangers have a lot more money than me doing stuff, but yeah, I did see a video actually from Ibrox at the weekend where it was like taken from the Copeland rear, I think. Is that the one that? Aye, that's the one that.
Is that still there, the Copeland rear? Because I don't think I've heard it in about fucking
so the
a
video
year.
was from in there. It was just silence where that guy was sitting, and he was videoing them, and it's like you look around the rest of the stadium, nobody's even. Yeah. But it's the same as Celtic Park though. The Green Brigade are going for it, and then.
I don't know, so that's why I think that you should be trying to look towards increasing the atmosphere there, because and we need away fans back as well. Yes, Rangers didn't give Motherwell the away fans. Listen, get the away fans back, because that chirps you up and on. Do you know what I mean? See if they're singing loud, you want to sing louder, and if one of their players flies into it, it makes you want to kind of get into it as well. So aye, it was just overall
the away fans thing is a bit of a nightmare. Did Motherwell get a stream for that game? Were they able to get a stream for it, Motherwell fans?
I'd have probably been able to buy it off Rangers TV.
Right, okay, fine, that's alright then. But I know Celtic fans are not offering a stream to away fans, though, which I think is an absolute shambles.
So maybe they didn't. I don't know. To be honest,
I don't know. I mean, I get the whole red zone thing, and I get that you've got to prioritise your season ticket holders, and if that means you can't have away fans, fine. It has to happen because you've got to put your fans first. But like Celtic are not letting Wraith Rovers fans go to this game midweek. That Celtic Park will not even be half full for that game. There's just no need for it. There's also Wraith Rovers fans can't. I don't know if that game's on TV, but like other teams that have gone to Celtic where the game hasn't on TV, there is no legal way for them to watch their football team. That should never ever be allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Now, fair enough, you can't go, but there should be a stream provided then. Genuinely, if you cannot legally watch your team, that is absolutely mental.
I know.
There should be like
it's
rules
like
in place to stop
something.
that happening. But yeah, as long as the red zone thing's about, it's going to rumble on.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that are happening at the moment. It's just annoying as fuck.
It's like we're not quite at normal. You still go to the game and you still feel like we're almost there, but it's just a bit.
Yeah, the vaccine passports obviously kick in the next couple of weeks as well.
It doesn't affect me going to football, so that's alright.
No, exactly. So it doesn't matter. Move on to Livingston 1, Celtic 0 then. We've just got a section to do this fucking old firm shiteness at the moment.
We've got a lot of shiteness to cover.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just expecting, even guys were talking about it at the game and all that. Oh, that's 1-0. Big Shindog scores.
Yeah, again, the Celtic's bench just atrocious.
Just nowhere near it. I mean, he brought on Beaton, Sorrow, and
you're trying to win a game when you're bringing on
Mikey Johnson
Sorrow and Neil Beaton and Mikey Johnson, who's not kicked the ball in God knows how long.
Yeah, and obviously they had the new guys in starting again as well. Jota, Cameron Vickers, guys like that. They're all straight in for the start. The depth just isn't there, considering they spent so much money.
I feel for Ange, but at the same time, somebody put a tweet out. I can't remember how many points from 18 it was, but they're in really rotten form just now, and he shouldn't be exempt from criticism. But at the same time, everyone went on and on about Celtic needed to get more players in, and people going, "Oh no, we signed enough."
nowhere near enough. They're still, I know they've got injuries just now, but if you have so you've got Giamakis who's not quite fit yet, Furuhashi and McGregor who are out just now, plus a few others.
The boys' Scales and all.
They're the three main ones, right? You take them out of the team and they are struggling big time.
Yeah.
You know, and they sold Christie. They let Christie, Edward, and Ncham go, and they didn't really replace them properly because obviously McGregor was already there. They're just the squad's miles off it, but I can't see them challenging for the league title if they don't. Because the worrying thing for Celtic is they looked like they ran out of ideas.
Yeah,
it was get the ball wide and get a cross in. That was pretty much all they did in the second half. They ran out of ideas. Obviously, they've had a bad record at Livy that's stretched back to
since Livingston have came up.
Even Brendan Rodgers was there, I think so. It's not ideal. But and also with Rangers dropping points, it's even more frustrating for them. I feel like the honeymoon period for Ange is very much over now, and now it's going to be like you're going to see how big a job he's got in his hands over the next few months because it will be tough. They're going to lose games. Obviously, the disaster in Betis was they started so well, but yet again defensively just an absolute shambles. The goal they concede, for all it's a good finish, Turnbull doesn't do enough in midfield. Welsh is just, I don't know what the hell he's playing at. He's just got to clear it, let Shinnie nip in and score the goal.
They seem to just be very inconsistent at the moment, which you obviously can get when there's a massive turnover of players as well. But
James
if you
McCarthy
look at it
as well was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, the signing has got to be questioned then as well, hasn't it?
So this is the other thing I'm glad you reminded me of. So there was a piece by I sound like Mike Tyson. Somebody wrote a piece for The Athletic about how I think it was claiming that a source from Celtic, I can't remember the exact story, but there was basically something about a source from inside Celtic had told him something that he wasn't supposed to, about. I can't remember, but remember like when Lennon was there, the team sheet used to get leaked all the time.
Aye.
It's like that sort of thing seems to keep it in again. It comes down to the fact that James McCarthy is pretty obviously not Ange Postecoglou's signing. He obviously didn't sign him. I think Liam Scales was the same. So that's
but the boy Liam Scales played in European football and then
Shamrock Rovers.
And says he wasn't ready. He's not ready to play. So it's probably as one of the ones.
Like
he's not his
the
signing.
Celtic support are 100% backing Postecoglou. I think that's pretty clear. But the board are not. And anyone who thinks they are so far is lying to themselves. There's lots going on behind the scenes at Celtic just now that is still not right. The Don Mackay stuff still hasn't been properly explained, and it just stinks. There's something wrong with it. I don't.
And that's the stuff that annoys you as a fan. See all that stuff at boardroom level and that you just.
It's like when Rangers were shite, there was always these things happening at Rangers, but now they don't happen anymore. All of a sudden they've got a better team in the park.
Yeah,
these things are not. It's not a coincidence. If Celtic sort out their stuff behind the scenes and sort out their, like Rangers board 100% back Steven Gerrard. It's not like it's up for question. Whereas it is up for question at Celtic, and for as long as that is the case, they're not gonna. Have a brilliant team in the park that's going to win league titles. I don't think.
No,
but
absolutely
crazy weekend. Both are struggling, which is amazing. And you think Hibs and Hearts are going to go and go top of the league, and then they both fuck up as well. So.
Before we do move on to that, the best thing that I seen.
Livy.
The best thing, Sir Davy Martindale, Dougie Imrie. Everybody knows that he's my hero.
Yeah.
And then Big Marv.
I love Big Marv.
With the big cuddle. I love Big Marv and all. What a team they've assembled. It's like the Avengers.
What about I was going to say what about David Marchandale's Marchandale's?
Well, it probably was marching actually on the Saturday.
Jesus Christ. I probably have to cut that out. Christ almighty. I was going to say my head's gone.
That was a belter. He probably was. What's up with that? Nothing the matter with it, is it?
No, absolutely not.
Anyway,
the thing is that joke goes two ways in my head. I've just realised what you meant, but I was thinking of something else.
Oh, are you? Oh my god!
So I think it's a bit too jailbait.
Oh, stay in.
Right, what the fuck was I going to say? What about what he was wearing?
It'd be black
and the
number
the chinos.
Aye, I like that.
He said that, isn't he?
Eating me, David does. I'm into him, man. What am I? I'm going to get him on. Do you think he'd come on the podcast?
I'm not so sure now. I think he would.
Nah, but
he loves a laugh. Did you see him on? He was on Football Daft.
He was on Football Daft, aye.
He was brilliant on that.
Aye.
When he grams are announced.
I love how he answered it though.
To be fair to him though, he's taken a lot of. Obviously, when he first came in, there was the whole like everyone in the Scottish Football absolutely loved him. He loved his story and all the rest of it, and he dealt with it all so well, and he's got a bit of humour about it as well, which is great. And he went through a really tough spell, I think, in terms of form for Livy, and I was thinking he could be the first one to get sacked this year, and then he goes and gets a result like that, and you're thinking, wow,
and a clean sheet as well.
Clean sheet as well, fair play.
Do you know what I mean? So let's move on again.
Where are we going next?
Edinburgh shiteness this time.
Big Joe Shaughnessy with a late equaliser for St Mirren, who have been really struggling recently. Big Tom from work is still good win out, which I think is still a bit bizarre, but St Mirren are struggling. But if you're Hibs, that's another bad result for them. You know, and Hibs fans get really impatient with Jack Ross. They don't. I remember last season they all wanted him gone. I remember at one point.
Yeah.
And that could have been a really big chance for them to really put the pressure on Celtic and Rangers and go, listen, we're not fucking about here.
But if they win that game, they're top of the league, I'm sure.
Exactly. So, same for Hearts, I think it would have been, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and both of them slipped up.
And Motherwell. So.
Yeah. It's mental. What a league we've got this year.
That is mental.
Yeah, what a carry on. I can't even remember what happened in the game, to be honest. But I know that.
Well, obviously, St Mirren went ahead through.
To the away end at the end for that goal.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Eamon Brophy put them ahead. Goalkeeper should probably do better. In the Edinburgh derby, was magnificent, but I think he should do a wee bit better. But Wolf, listen, he was needing feeding. He was needing the goal. The camera a bit.
We needed to compose ourselves.
We did after all that marching tilt. Actually, Eamon Brophy obviously put St Mirren ahead. I think goalie should maybe do a wee bit better. But at half time, Jack Ross obviously gave them the riot act in there.
Yep.
He brings on Scott Allen, who's a player that they tried to ship out at the end of the transfer window.
On loan.
Exactly, after obviously his heart issues and that. But they were trying to get him in a swap deal for McGrath and money and all that. He comes on, plays the pass to the back post for McGinn that gets him back in the game. They go ahead. You're expecting them to obviously kick on, and then
Paul McGinn scoring against St Mirren is quite fitting. Also, the amount of ex-St Mirren connections at Hibs just now is quite astonishing. So you've got Jack Ross, John Potter, Craig Sampson, Paul McGinn, Jake Doyle-Hayes, Kyle McGuinness. Who else is there? There are more, and it's just apparently they're kit man as well. Ex St Mirren, so
feeder team.
Yeah, big time. It's like Southampton, Liverpool used to be. Yeah,
but it was a decent wee performance for Scott Allen coming off the bench. Big for him, obviously. With the heart issues
what a talented footballer, really talented
brilliant
footballer.
Player.
His career hasn't panned out the way it probably should have done for a number of different reasons, but yeah, he's one of the players you really enjoy watching.
But see, he's got that's something different for any player really in the league.
Just a proper flair player, isn't he?
Going into obviously the last season, he had probably one of his best seasons as a pro, and it was just unfortunate with the heart situation. And he's just.
But it's great he's come back. He's able to play. That's fantastic.
Exactly, the fact he's even back playing is a bonus. And listen, I think he took his opportunity because he changed the game with the pass. He got Hibs back in the game, and
that might have to be his role as well this season.
Yeah,
which listen, he can be effective at it. I think it probably suits everybody.
And I watched his post match, and he was saying basically he thinks he could be more involved, and
he's still got that hunger, which is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hibs have got a good team, and it's just whether or not Jack Ross trusts him from the start in games like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. St Mirren, though, I mean, in isolation, that's a really good point for St Mirren. But with the way they've started, it's just not quite enough.
You need to start racking up wins.
Start winning games, and Dundee are exactly the same. St Mirren are probably the team you worry about just now. I mentioned that, but then again, they've got enough quality there, surely, to come good.
But you look at all these squads now, and you've gone here. They all look good.
The only squad that I think is a real unknown to me, kind of, is Ross County, but they're doing really well. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
That's a good transition into the Ross County draw then as well.
Yeah, Stephen Kingsley with a brilliant free kick to nick a point for the Jam Tarts. I'm not sure nick a point is exactly fair, but they got the point.
Yeah.
I saw loads of Hearts fans up at like 5 a.m. for that away day, which is
fair play.
Proper away day, that, isn't it?
That is indeed.
Up to Dingwall.
Alright, Boyce gets another goal. He's on fire. What a signing he's been.
Yeah.
Who was it that brought him? Was it Stendhal?
Stendhal's got him playing half.
If Stendhal's did one thing well, it was bringing Liam Boyce to
Boyce definitely signed in the January.
Aye, 100%.
I just can't remember if Levine had agreed it or if Stendhal had. He scored against Rangers. But did Levine pre-sign him for the January or did Stendhal sign him?
Maybe.
I can't really remember.
I'm getting it Stendhal anyway.
Still having involvement after he was no longer manager anyway. So
I'm getting it big Stendhal.
I'll give it to
what a signing he's been in it, getting my fantasy team.
Yes, yeah, he's in my fantasy team too.
I've basically sacked the fantasy team after the last 2 weeks.
Have you?
By accident, I just forgot.
Accidentally captained. Oh no, did I?
I've had Christian Ramirez as a captain for 2 weeks.
I had Lewis Ferguson captain and Ramirez vice captain. And
I had Ryan Kent playing the middle at the weekend.
I got rid of Ryan Kent, not getting anywhere near enough points this season.
He's got 5 assists.
Hopeless.
He's got 5 assists.
Hopeless. What about FIFA making him a centre forward?
It's weird.
Dirty
There's been a
bastards.
lot of. Do you know what? I actually seen Scott Bain as a higher rating in
Craig
FIFA
Gordon.
than Craig Gordon.
Yeah, shambles.
What's going on there? Huh?
It is an absolute shambles. Some of the Celtic ratings are really, really questionable. Furuhashi's like 72 silver. It's just they just don't give a shit about Scottish people.
Yeah.
Can't wait till FM comes out because then it'll be done properly.
That's it. Don't say that to them. They'll want your streams back.
Oh, they'll get them. When the new
Good.
FM comes out, the FM streams are back. We'll get
You
back
actually
on
make
here.
a return?
Absolutely.
Big time?
The FM streams were probably the highlight of this channel.
Aye.
Before you came on with your shite. No, I'm joking.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, certainly they were. The fucking ad revenue says they were anyway.
Oh, behave yourself.
But FM. Can't wait.
Aye.
What else are we talking about?
Next up, Aberdeen.
Shite.
I can say it again. It's just shite, basically.
Stevie May loves a
Kiwi.
and loves a goal at Pataudry, except not when he's playing for Aberdeen, quite obviously. Loved the celebration. Yeah.
See, they'd obviously must have been gaining a bit, and that corner he runs.
Was that not a milestone goal as well? Am I right in thinking it was like a
50th goal for
50th
St
goal for
Johnstone.
St Johnstone?
Yeah, he cuts in, puts it in the bottom corner, and then he makes a beeline for that section. So they must have been gaining a
50
bit.
goals for St Johnstone, 2 Scottish Cup wins and a League Cup win for St Johnstone?
He's a legend.
Wow, he is. He's a modern day Saints legend. And fair play to him. A good character to have in the game. Good goal, good finish.
Anything else to talk about in the game?
Aberdeen just been shite.
What has happened to them, No winning 7 now
Remember
for
we did
Stephen
a show
Glass.
after they got beat off Wraith Rovers and I said he was going to struggle because that result would come back to haunt him, and the more they're shite in the league,
Yeah.
the more that result will come back to haunt him because they get put out of the cup
'Cause
and
everybody
put out
will
of
go
Europe
back to
in the
that.
same week, and they're doing shite in the league and they're already out of one cup. Now I think he needs time. Will he get time though? That is the question.
Depends how bad it gets.
The board will give him time because obviously Dave
They're
Cormack.
back to him. Look at the players they've brought
Dave
in.
Cormack's obviously brought him in. There's the Atlanta United thing there. He's very much Cormack's man.
I like the way he talks and all that.
I like
and
Stephen Glass. I've always liked him.
I like to look at them at the start of the season and all. So
Yeah, but they're just not. They're not doing
they're
it.
just not doing it at the
for a
top
number of
end at the
reasons.
moment. They're not creating the chances for Big Ramirez.
Yeah, there's a
Because
few injuries as well. Hedges has been injured.
Hedges
he's
is a big player.
Yeah.
Aye.
Ramirez started well, but
he fell away.
goals have dried up a little bit.
But I like Ramirez, and I think with
So do
better
I.
service than that, he could.
Like the Jet too. I think they've got really good players. I think they've got a really good squad, which is why I think it makes it even more bad for him because I don't think you can argue that he hasn't been backed because they went and got numerous players in over the summer. But they're in a bad way just now, and they need to start racking up some wins pronto.
Yeah. What do you think needs to change? Like, I'm looking at it, and I was actually looking forward to seeing the dynamic between a Lewis Ferguson, Scott Brown, and Ross McCrory midfield.
It's very workmanlike though. There's not much creativity there.
But Ross McCrory's been punted into centre back. He's not been playing
But
in
that's
the
because
middle three.
they've not got many centre halves though.
Yeah.
I mean, Considine's obviously out now. They lost. Who else did they lose? They lost somebody. I can't remember.
The boy Hedges that you says.
Aye, I know, but in terms of centre half, they've had injuries. So that McCrory has to play there.
Yeah.
Which I've always thought. Whereas McCrory, I think McCrory's better in midfield than he is at the back.
For sure.
I don't think he's good enough to play centre half.
He's not a ball playing midfielder, but
He's a ball winner,
in
isn't he?
terms
He
of
wins
going
the
and
ball
getting the ball
back.
back, I
Yeah,
don't think there's
yeah.
much better than him in the league.
But then, how can you get Scott Brown in there as well? You kind of like they're a bit similar, aren't they? McCrory's always got more legs, but Brown's in there to win the ball back and get them going.
He doesn't really win the ball back in the same way as McCrory though. He's more in there, I think, to just slow the game down.
If you go Ferguson, McCrory and Brown as a 3, I think in certain games that would work really well. But against St Johnstone at home, who's creating in there?
Well, that's why you can then give Lewis Ferguson the rein to go forward.
Is he a creative player though? He's more a goal scorer.
But they're needing goals, so that's I would let him go a bit further forward.
Potentially, but
they started like that and they got a cut of goals and now they've pulled them back. I don't understand
feels a
that.
little bit like square pegs and round holes for Aberdeen just now. I don't really know what they have to do to figure it out. Aberdeen fans, let us know what you think in the comments. Scottish Cup becomes massive for him when that comes around.
Absolutely.
So January will be a big month for them. If they get
Massive.
put out of that, then, but genuinely, if he gets put out of the Scottish Cup early, he could be done if they don't improve the league for him.
Yeah.
Now, I still think he won't be because I think Dave Cormack will give him time, but I don't think the fans will give him time because they were very harsh on Derek McInnes. I said that at the time. Didn't know what they had till it's gone, and now Dale's on the TV all the time, looking immaculate, stress free. Bet he'll be next Scotland manager. There you go.
Do you think so?
There you go. That's a prediction. Who else do you think would be the next Scotland manager? Look around at the available managers out there. If Steve Clark was to leave, who would get the job? Surely it'd be Derek McInnes.
He would be. He'd have the best CV, I think, to step in.
He'd be the bookie's favourite. You watch
For the Scottish guys, anyway.
So
I like Alec Neil, but I know he's at a job at the moment. I'd like to see him again.
I would like to see Jack Ross as the next Scotland manager eventually, but I don't think that'll happen.
But then we'd keep nearly getting there and failing in the usual way.
Which is very Jack Ross, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. But I just want a young manager who plays decent football. I think that would suit. But anyhow,
I think that's
don't know
what
why
we
I would
need.
talk about that. I just think that I've had this in my head for a while. Derek McKenzie will be the next Scotland manager. He's at the right stage of his career as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next international break now.
Yes,
just to be obviously let down. Probably
Massive game it is.
getting beat off the Faroes or
I
something.
thought I had a ticket, but I don't think I do anymore. So I'm still on the hunt for a ticket. If anyone's got a ticket, go and let me know.
The Scottish women have been in action as well. Picked up a good victory the other night, 2-0. Friend of the show, Erin Cuthbert. Bags women.
That's one of my favourite videos on the channel.
Aye, it was good.
It was really good.
I enjoyed it.
She was brilliant. To be fair.
She carried it. I was just there for the ride.
She did carry that. She knew exactly what she was talking about too.
Oh, aye.
Like you hear some pros and they're like they don't have a fucking Scooby, but no, she knew her stuff. That was a good video.
Yes.
Videos like that we do, they don't get enough views, annoy me.
I think that ended up with about 3k, which is no.
It's alright, but should have done 30k. Nah. We should have done.
I've done about 10.
7. Up to 10, yeah. It's quality video. Go back and watch it.
She has quality. She's a player and all. Play Faroes tonight. They'll batter the Faroes.
Should be a comfortable victory.
This will be after that though, but they will batter the Faroes.
Yeah, and then
of course
there was a bit of a confusion. The 21s are playing Denmark soon. I don't know exactly when it is, but the game was supposed to be in Denmark, but it's got moved to Scotland and it's at Tynecastle now. But the SFA didn't communicate that to supporters until like last night, but UEFA and Denmark had already done it days before. I think a few people are moaning because like people do generally go and travel to watch the 21. I think people were going to go and travel, and the SFA hadn't confirmed that it was getting moved to Tynecastle. So.
Shambles.
Yeah.
Talking about the SFA, the SPFL, or these kind of governing bodies, there was a wee story that broke. Was it last week now? 4 or 5 clubs are teaming up together to try and come up with different initiatives and different ways to try and raise more money for the Scottish game. I think I welcome it. We need it. We need more money in the game. David Martindale was on actually in his press conference, and he was talking about how in the 4 Old Firm games that generates £34 million for Sky, and the deal was 24 million. That's the full deal to go to all the clubs to be shared about, and that one game is almost 10 million more than that.
Right, but here's the thing: Sky paid that money. BT wouldn't even pay that money.
Yeah.
So you can't. What if Sky have got? I know, I completely agree. We undersell our game, but we can't just say to Sky, give us more money. If no one else is going to give us more money.
It is interesting. The fact that
completely interesting, and I completely
the interest is there though. So
yeah,
if you add in then the Edinburgh Derby, the Dundee Derby, and all these kind of games,
so we should be standing our ground saying Sky were taking no less than this.
Well, everybody knew that the deal was absolutely shenga.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's even out with the Sky Sports stuff, if they can come up with these different initiatives. It even mentioned the Swedish League and something about different money and all that. If we can get a better calibre of player,
do your own streaming.
Exactly. If we can get a better calibre player at each of your teams and kind of try and build it up that way, then hopefully that helps the league as a whole and gets us up there. Because
it's tough, because you're right. Tough. We undersell our game, and it's been my pet peeve for ages, which is why I wanted to do the podcast mainly, because to talk about how great the Scottish game is. We talk about all of this other shit as well. But yeah, it's hard to, if no one else is going to pay. Sky obviously paid the money BT wouldn't pay, but the SPFL should have said, well, fuck yeah, that's not enough. And if they're confident enough to know that it's worthwhile for Sky to pay the money, then Sky will probably pay it.
Yeah.
They should just be a bit more confident in terms of, right, this is what we want. You're not giving us, you're not getting it.
We are a slave to the money up here, unfortunately, so they need to go, because clubs wouldn't be able to function without it. You know, another thing, right, this really fucking annoys me, is the fact that clubs can't, Lewis Stewart, for an example, that was at Ross County. They let him go down to Sunderland on a free. And he's just scored at the weekend. He's doing really fucking well.
Good player.
But they didn't get a fee for him because they're not able to give him a free 4-year deal. So that all these players just go for free constant. And obviously to go back to who was it, McCann and Kerr getting down the road, because these clubs can't pay up the money like for 3-4 year deals, they end up going. Do you know what I mean? So we're caught in this constant circle of creating good players in that for other leagues, and then fucking it just doesn't help the club.
We lost Kevin Nisbet for, I can't remember what the fee was. It was 250k, 300k. Now we were lucky that we did a great bit of business, got a selling clause, but you're selling them for like 300k, and then a year later it's touted for £4 or £5 million.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Look at Big Jack Hendry.
For a club like Dunfermline, you can't afford to give players more than a 2-year deal, because in 2 years' time you could be in League One.
Exactly, I know.
Part time. That's how shaky it is.
That's how
Jack
close it
Henry's
is.
a perfect example. But Jack Henry's also an example about how we write off players far too quickly in this country.
Aye.
And we say, right, he's shite at 21.
Because you one clip at
we
Partick
say he's
Thistle.
dreadful. Because I won
It is mostly down to that clip,
It's the
innit?
only clip I ever see of him being
Yeah.
shite. And that has created this narrative that he was just always shite and had no redeeming qualities, which is not true. He's now one of our best centre-halves and will be an asset for the national team for years to come, and I'm delighted he's doing well. But we as a country, we write players off far too quickly, and they go elsewhere and do well. My phone's going off just now. I wonder what's happening. I hope Peter Grant's been sacked just for the fucking scenes.
Well, that might be a good transition then into the lower league football, David. We could start off there at your own team. Dunfermline 0, Inverness 0. Happy with that?
Yay! Fucking
Has he not been sacked?
No, he's not been sacked. I'm fed up, and I've been quiet on this. 'Cause I wasn't at the game, so I can't obviously go too deep about the performance. I watched the highlights. Who cares if we were better? We dropped 2 points at home. We're supposed to be a team that's challenging for the league title this season. Am I the only one that remembers this?
Yeah. The standards seem to have just dropped so quickly.
But it happens to every club, and it's listen. I'm actually getting most Dunfermline fans are actually, yes, the vast majority still want him out and still think it's not good enough. But it's annoying me how many have gone. It was so much better back the manager. I have backed him. Spent God knows how much money on a season ticket. Been home and away so far this season. Turn up every day and scream and shout for the team, and then they go and let us all down. It's just not good enough at all. And I don't care that Inverness are flying. If Inverness drop points on Dunfermline at home, that's a bad result because you're at home and you want to be challenged for title. You should not be dropping points. Now, first of all, he should have been sacked before this game. We're on 2 points. Come on. 2 points. We're 14
I mean,
points.
when you weigh up the squads and all that sort of stuff, that's scandalous. Especially when you look at Arbroath are absolutely fine, part time, and they're flying.
It's like we played Ayr United and we got beat last week 3-1. I looked at the starting 11s. There wasn't one player for Ayr United I would have taken our starting 11. Not one.
And they still gubbed you.
And we're getting hammered every week, and I still believe that. I still believe our squad's so much better, and they hammered us. It's just nowhere near good enough. And I said it last time I did a show. I can't remember who I was on with. Was it me and you we were on?
Probably.
And I was like, it just saddens you at that point. And it is the most disconnected I felt from Dunfermline in my life.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like. You know when you've got a group of players at a club and you feel like they get the club and they get the fans, and there's kind of like, we've been lucky where even when we've been shite, we've had players that we just kind of all loved and got on with, and there's I don't know. I feel like I'm being harsh, but I just nothing positive to say about the club just now.
Yeah. Apart from your new training ground.
The new training ground's on the way. I had an article called The Programme on Saturday, by the way, if anyone bought it, have a read. But I just
yeah,
I'm so down in the dumps about it all. It's just awful.
Do you want to pull up some of the other fixtures then for the weekend, and we'll go through them?
I said nothing productive there whatsoever. I'm not even making any sense. But everyone will know what it's like, because whenever
football does say.
Whenever your club's in a shite spell, everything's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're struggling to find anything that's positive.
We're top of the league, and I'm like,
and it's even like I don't even want to sit here and go into Peter Grant, because I like him. I think he's a nice guy, and there's no doubt he's trying really, really hard, and he'll be working as hard as anyone, and he'll be raging when he goes home every weekend. It's the board I'm pissed off with, because they should never have appointed him in the first place, and they should have 100% sacked him by now, and they haven't done, and I don't want the fans to turn on the board, because Ross MacArthur, I like Ross MacArthur a lot of times. He's done wonders for us, from brink of liquidation to stabilising and getting new owners in. Brilliant, done really, really well. But he's made some shocking decisions in terms of managers. The last 3 decisions on the manager front he's made have been wrong. And if he's got this one wrong again, you can't keep getting these things wrong if you're a chairman. And oh Christ, I could be here all day, but it's just
be, mate.
It's
Pals
awful.
Talk 2.0.
No, I couldn't think anything worse just now. But we would never do it now. Right, championship fixtures. Arbroath. Let's talk about Dick. You like Dick? I don't like Dick. I like Dick Campbell. Yeah. Yes, what a fella. 14 goals so far this season. Flying. The Entertainers, second in the league. Can go top on Friday night, by the way.
Who they played on Friday?
They
just played Queen of the South.
It's on the telly. I can't remember. I hate it when I Google championship fixtures and it comes up with a fucking English championship.
Oh, come away with that. But listen, I thought maybe we'd have dropped points at the weekend there away to Queen of the South, but another convincing win for Arbroath, 2-0.
They play Kelly on Friday night at Gayfield. What a game. That's the telly
That's
too.
some
That's
game,
a great game.
It's got to be 0-0.
But you know what? This is what annoys me, right? So that game was on the telly on Friday night. The SPFL should be doing everything this week to talk about how great that game is going to be. They should be hammering the promo all week long about how good that game is going to be. There's such easy stories there to spin it. Kelly just dropped down from the top flight, big team, should go straight back up. Arbroath, the only part-time team in the league, sitting second, flying. Dick Campbell, the biggest character in Scottish football. You should be hammering the promo in that game, so that people outside of Scotland go, "Oh, that's interesting." That's really interesting.
We'll just do it for them,
but there are so many talented people in the sort of Scottish football, social media, communications sort of industry that would be able to do this stuff so much better than it's getting done, and it is just frustrating. It really is frustrating. You'll see nothing this week on the SPFL socials about that game, they should be doing everything to get eyes on that game. Will they do it? No. But anyway,
that should be the This Is Football cover photo, for fuck's sake. No, the other ones.
Should be Dick Campbell at the weekend going against the Arbroath supporters. Yeah. Right, yeah, great result for them, 2-0. What about big Joel Nuble? I don't know if I should pronounce it, but what a big fella he is, what a striker. He is flying, real cult hero potential up at Arbroath. He's doing really, really well. But I'm just amazed how many goals they're scoring.
I know.
Because they struggled, they've already scored half as many goals as they did last season in the entirety of it.
That's mental, isn't it?
Which is some return. I think that's right.
Are they still playing a 4-4-2?
Fuck knows.
Just old fashioned, I mean, just
Championship's easy, mate.
Aye.
A manager like Dick Campbell, who could have been Dunfermline manager this summer, but we decided we didn't want him. Whether that's right or wrong, we'll never know. But I tell you what, we wouldn't be sitting on 2 points in bottom of the league if he was in charge just now. I'm very confident on that front. Dunfermline made me so upset, man. I'm just a broken shell of a man.
Yeah.
Queen of the South, yeah, not great. Hamilton are hopeless, by the way. It's going to be. I'm sitting here talking about how the SPFL should be hyping up Arbroath and Kelly on Friday night about how everyone should watch that game. Just as much the SPFL should be telling nobody to watch Hamilton Dunfermline on Saturday, because it will be a dumpster fire of a fixture. It's going to be awful. Two absolutely dreadful teams.
Loving your takes in the Championship.
Ayr United have just beaten Dunfermline.
Just get fucking punched off Mike.
Ayr United have in the last 2 games played Hamilton and Dunfermline and won 5-1 over the 2 games.
That's mental,
and
isn't it?
Ayr United are dog shit. Like, how is this even possible? What a league the Championship is, by the way.
Right.
But what a result for Ayr United away from home. Yeah, Jim Duffy's obviously taken the team since Hopkins left. He'll probably keep that for the end of the season, I would have thought now. Hamilton really, really struggling. Could go down.
They're
so
up there.
Could Dunfermline, but they could. I mean, if you're not careful, they could go down. And yeah, Hamilton fans not happy at all, but they never really are. So it's going to be a big battle Eastern Park next weekend. Thankfully, I won't be there. But this one, I'll Kelly too. Good result for Kelly on the road.
Yeah.
Thistle have obviously had a really good start. And Ollie Shaw scored a really good goal to seal the win for Kilmarnock. Tommy Wright. Equally, we're saying Arbroath are flying, but if you're Tommy Wright, you'd fancy going to Gayfield and getting a win. That should really propel you onwards.
Yeah, they've kind of steadied the ship, obviously, with that victory away to Thistle. Thistle have started the season really well as well. Obviously, Inverness.
But I think the telling thing is that they've played Inverness and Killie in 2 weeks and got beat both times, so it probably shows they're not quite ready to challenge for a title. I think Killie will run away with the league, because I think Inverness for all have started really, really well. 5 wins, 5 wins and a draw, and that's the thing. I know Dunfermline are shite, but that's a good result for Inverness at the weekend, because you're still going
unbeaten, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be happy with that. And finally, Morton 0 at Wraith Rovers 1. Wraith have had a bit of an indifferent start to the season, but Daniel Zanata scored again, and he's done really well so far this season. So that's going to be interesting.
Is that the boy that scored against Aberdeen as well?
Yes,
flying.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well. Really found his level. Well, not found his level, but found a club that seems to be
fitted,
doing well for him, because he's always been a decent player, but it's never really clicked properly at Championship level for him. It seems to have done now. So quick look at the league table before we move on. Inverness still top, 1 point ahead of Kilmarnock and 3 ahead of Arbroath, who are in third, not second. I don't know why I said second. I think, were they in second at one point? I don't know. But they can go top if they win on Friday night. Thistle in 4th, Rovers in 5th, Ayr 6th. Ayr have jumped up to 6th, it's remarkable.
We're getting to the bottom.
Queen of the South 7th, we're getting there, don't worry, it's
We're
coming.
nearly there.
It's a coming. 8th, Greenock Morton's 9. Mortonth? Why am I doing the list thing today? 9 Hamilton Academical. And
you're talking in old tongue. You've been reading your Bible.
And 10th in bottom of the league at Dunfermline Athletic. Yeah.
On 2 points?
2 points and minus 8 goal difference.
Brilliant.
What a start. Peter's got us playing.
Is that have you got the worst start in any of the leagues now? It's up there. It's there or thereabouts.
Potentially.
With Livy winning at the weekend, obviously, they were on 1 point.
I think are on 2, or they're on 3 now, maybe 3 draws, maybe.
Aye.
Dundee might be on 2 or
I think
3.
he might have had the worst start, mate.
Let's move on. Let's move on to League One, who they haven't had the worst start points wise, but in terms of where the fuck they're sitting, they've absolutely had the worst start. And this section, what did we call it there?
Falkirk, haha. That was him that wanted to call it that, by the way.
Falkirk 1, Dumbarton 2. What a result. Do you want me to read you some funny stats about Falkirk?
Yeah, go for it.
In 2021, Falkirk have won 6 out of 19 matches in the third tier.
And they're full time still?
Yeah. Biggest budget by a country mile now. They won 6 out of 19
by
in 2021. Woeful. And they changed manager at that time. After finishing 5th in League One last season, Falkirk changed manager and signed 17 new players. After 7 games, they're now 7th in League One. It's just fantastic.
Is that how bad it is down there?
It's dreadful. We're bad, but we're not that bad. Well, maybe we are. We're just lucky we're not.
I thought they'd have been contenders this year going up.
No, they should. Listen, that's the.
They should obviously be, but I thought they were going to be.
Is that their third season in League One? It might be. No, second. Third?
No, it's a third.
It's
a third because of COVID season.
Yeah, of course.
This is the start of the third,
Wow, so their third season in League One. They don't look like they're going to win it this year either. And I know what it's like. We were trapped down there for 3 years as well. We had the unlucky anomaly of finishing clear second in the season user in League One, which humped us a little bit. But yeah, they are an absolute shambles. Talk about fans disconnect with the board. It's rife at Falkirk, which is great to see. Yeah, it's just fantastic. I love every minute of it.
Great victory for the Suns.
Yeah, fair play. I said to you in the car on the way through, I saw they were long odds and I really fancied them actually because I've touted them a lot for the recruitment this summer. Did really, really well to get good players in. And League One's mental. Absolutely mental. The SPFL don't also promo League One enough. I feel like we give League One quite a good bit.
We do. That's probably our favourite league.
It probably is our favourite league.
It is. It's probably the most competitive. Well, obviously the top league this season as well has been really competitive. To be fair, but
the Falkirk goals, the Dumbarton goals they were typical of the goals Falkirk have conceded over the last 5 years. Long goal kick, flick on, man in goal, simple, just dreadful defending. And yeah, the
biggest one that caught my eye for the League One there was 2 each with Queen's Park and Clyde.
Yeah,
last minute goal. It was somewhere where I expected Queen's Park to go and just get the victory.
Double for David Willie, last minute goal for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think Queen's
drama
Park
again, though, innit?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I still think Queen's Park will win that league. If I'm perfectly honest, I tipped them from the start. But yeah, good result for Clyde, I suppose. Alloa with another win, decent.
Versus Montrose.
Yeah, because obviously they beat Falkirk, didn't they? And everyone thought it's a good result for Fergie, maybe because he's ruffled a few feathers down there. But this is 2 big back results. Obviously, Montrose are the big team in League One, and Falkirk and Montrose have obviously been flying. So good result for Alloa.
Again, that was one I expected Montrose to win.
Yeah, I would say so too.
But they couldn't.
But now, I mean, Alloa are up to 6th now. Those 2 wins have really propelled them on, which is massive. And they're 6th, but they're also 3 points off the top. So it shows you. Let's just have a quick look at the League One table, right? So there's only 9 points between bottom and top, which is mental. And between 8th and top, there's only 5 points.
Who's sitting pretty still, Queen's Park?
Between 7th and top, there's 3 points. Yeah.
What about Airdrie at the weekend? I know, was that a draw for Airdrie? Did they win actually? Didn't they?
I don't know. Sam's left, so I don't care anymore.
Aye, true.
I can stop pretending to like Airdrie now.
Can we say we'll put them Bolton, Duggan, relegated?
No, they
Jump on the line.
They won 3-0 against East Fife.
Comfortable. East Fife, they've got Buck Bears one of the worst starts, eh? They get a win.
Who's bottom in the league?
Is it East Fife?
No, yeah, they've got 4 points. They've got 2 more points than Dunfermline do.
Wow.
I need to get this League 2 table up here just to make sure that we don't actually have the worst start in the country.
Who would be bottom of that?
Can't remember.
Albion?
Stennersmuir on 5 points.
So
how many points are Dundee on? Are they on 3?
Dundee are on... No, they might be on 2.
They might be on 2. They're on 3. Dunfermline have the worst start. They have the lowest number of points. Find the right one that's like... Nah,
it's too low, man. Somebody's been messing up...
It was you who was messing up with it. Yeah, Dunfermline have the least number of points in the Scottish professional football leagues.
The choice.
Up the road. Right, so Kelly Hearts 3-0 victory over Albion Rovers. They're the one team that didn't let the Coopman down on the weekend.
Nope, can always count in Kelty.
Can always count in Kelty. Nathan Austin banged in a hat-trick. He's flying.
Yeah.
Obviously playing at a level 2. I mean, he's good enough to play in the Championship, no doubt about that. But all the fun and games we've had in today's show, we have to balance it out with something we really want to talk about. We mentioned on the car on the way through. Three incidents we need to talk about, which is even crazy to even have to say that.
Yeah, there'd have been more. That's just the ones we know about.
That's just the ones that get called out. Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about these racial abuse incidents that come out. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's worse now than it's ever been. It's not. It's just that people are more confident to call it out and have their say in it, which these things have to get better before they get worse. We'll start with Nathan Austin, since we just mentioned it. Racially abused in his game on Saturday against Albion Rovers. He came out post-match. I love the way he handled it. Picture of the match ball, you know. But yeah, just dreadful that it has to happen again. I'm so fed up at having to even. So that's not the right thing to say, because obviously we want to call these things out, but
it sickens you though.
We shouldn't have to do it. Is the point I'm making.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here again. We've done this a lot on these shows recently. It feels like there's always a new incident, and he's obviously suffered that at the weekend. There was also another one, I think it was last midweek.
Yeah, it was Rico Katongo
racially abused by one of his own supporters,
which is just
fucking mind blowing. But he came out and spoke out about that. Plenty of support coming in from pros and clubs all around the country, which is what you want to see. Which it's like, what else?
Which goes with it saying, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. But it's like you feel so powerless at times like that, because there's only so much you can see. Even like we're sitting here having this conversation, but
we'll probably be having another one in another couple of weeks' time, and that's just the way it is. It's absolutely rife. And
the final one, and we'll cover these as a whole. The final incident was, I can't remember who was the guy. I don't know the guy.
I can't remember his name. Flip the Mindset podcast. I watch him
on Saturday and heard somebody racially abusing the Motherwell goal scorer. Went on Twitter, called it out, and was just met with fucking shit tons of abuse.
Yeah, but proof and all the rest of it.
Just called him a liar straight off. And
people were questioning whether he was even a Rangers fan.
Any type of abuse in life, if you call it out and are told you're lying straight away, you're not going to call it out again, are you?
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? These, and it is such a mental mindset to have, to go, somebody says, I heard somebody be racially abused, you're lying.
I know.
What does that say about you? That he might be lying. He might be. He's probably almost definitely not.
Aye.
But if your first instinct is to say you're a liar, come on, have a word with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely, why would you lie about that? He's obviously not lying, but what I'm saying is, obviously he's heard that, he doesn't have proof.
Yeah, there's no need to lie,
But
so that's
exactly.
why.
And it's like the vast overwhelming majority of people in Scottish football stood beside Glenn and behind Glenn Kamara. There was no proof of that either, because the guy, it was possible that he didn't do it. He did. But do you know what I mean? Like, that's why UEFA didn't hammer him, because he was
I think it just falls back to it. People always say things like, "Oh, playing the race card," and
it's an easy escape.
They always straight away say that it never happened.
Yeah, it's mental.
Listen, unless on very, very rare occasions, right, you might get somebody that does make up something like that. But 99.9% of the time, there's no reason to do it.
And if you're
instant, do you know what I mean?
Instant reaction is to say you're a liar, then you're part of the problem. Quite frankly. And yeah, these things are. It's not even just racism though. You've seen social media's been mental for the last 3 months. I think it's been even worse. It's just like cancel cultures, and it's also toxic and stuff. The Kamara incident, when it happened, I thought there was lots of positives to take out of that in terms of the way the reaction was. Certainly from what I saw, the vast majority of people were 100% united in support for him, and I thought that was great. And you remember the Scott Brown thing in the Old Firm? Might have been a token gesture, but it was a powerful gesture, and it showed people united behind it. But then now we've got these things happening, and it's like that the people that would have been calling this guy a liar on Saturday would have been 100% saying Kamara was right, just because one of them is a Rangers player and they don't know who the other one is. And that's fucked up.
See, the biggest thing I take away from obviously Rico and Nathan and the guy, sorry I don't know his name, for the Flip the Mindset podcast, is that they did have the courage to speak up on it. And for me, start naming and shaming and showing photos of these people. I think with
the guy for the podcast, well, it's kind of, I don't think he knew. I think he just heard. I don't think he knew who the guy was as such.
No, I know, but I know it is hard to obviously photograph people and all that sort of stuff. But listen, if you see somebody just go like, "Fuck you, prick," if you're about to act like that.
But this is the thing, like the courage point is a really good point, because I think the vast majority of people will have heard somebody say something
I've heard that.
And not had the balls to call it out. There's definitely times in my life I've heard somebody say something ridiculous and I've not gone, you're an arsehole, I've just kind of ignored it, which is not the right thing to do, is it?
When you're younger and all that sort of stuff, exactly. You're powerless. But
this
anyway,
is the thing, you got these guys got the courage to come out and say this is fucking wrong, and then they go and take just relentless abuse.
I know.
They're not going to do that again, are they?
Nah.
They're not going to have the courage. Why? Because it's not worth your time if you're just going to take abuse and stick for it. It's just mental.
And especially when you know what happens. Why would you then like, say it's a lie?
People saying it didn't happen, I've never heard it. You probably have.
You're talking shite.
You are talking
shite.
You're
talking shite if you're saying that.
And it's like, and you know what I also think? I think people are scared of like being racist, called racist themselves. You know, like if like I don't know, like you know somebody who says something racist and you've heard it, people will go, well, you're part of the problem because you didn't call it out. People will go, well, I'm not a racist.
Yeah.
Well, it's not saying you are, but if you see somebody get punched in the face and you don't say anything about it, you're a bit of an arsehole, aren't you? You've just watched something bad happen to somebody
we're at a point
and
where
you're doing nothing about it.
It's no longer acceptable in a sense just not to be racist.
You've got to be
proactively against racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
And calling people out on their racism is the way to go for me. And that can take courage as well, because you're probably, do you know what I mean? Being especially the one to stand up. A lot of people don't, even if they've seen somebody fighting in the street, they wouldn't go and, do you know what I mean?
Especially in a group of like, in football's mental like that, because it can be quite intense and it's a group of guys and it can be quite, you know, like siege mentality, especially, you know, in Scottish football. I think the old firm is horrendous for it, the siege mentality thing. It's like, if someone who supports my club says something, I believe them just because they support my club. It's absolutely mental. And it's hard to then, in that sort of environment, come out and say, well, no, you're wrong. And if you're going to do that and then get met with shit tons of abuse, you're not going to do it again. And that's part of the problem. That's going to make it not worse, but it's like I said earlier, sometimes these things have got to get worse before they get better, or at least look to get worse, because some people are at a stage now where they're proactively against it. Some people are at a stage where I'm not racist, but you know what I mean? It's difficult, and it's neither of us.
And then there's people that are just fucking racist clowns.
Yeah, it's like this conversation that we're having here is not like perfect, and it's not like.
See, the biggest one is like, see if you called somebody out on their racism, they would absolutely back into a corner like the wee coward that they are. Do you know what I mean? See if the guy came up to Nathan Austin right in his face. In public, he wouldn't even do that. No. So these people that do things like this, got to remember and all, they're absolute cowards.
You know what, another big point I think about this is that you've got to be open to learning about it. So like you can sit and have a conversation, and one of us said something in this conversation that was wrong. Like we said something that wasn't right, but you've got to be able to admit you're wrong about stuff. To like, if you think about, I don't know, but like if I think about where I was 2-3 years ago in terms of understanding racism and stuff, I've learnt a lot more about how the subject should be handled now than I would have done 3 years ago. But 3 years ago I wouldn't have thought I was wrong, and I wouldn't have thought, but you know what I mean? You've got to be open to exactly. And if you're not open,
there's just some things that you should never. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
In an adult life,
yeah, absolutely.
You should be saying and stuff like that.
These conversations have got to keep happening at a larger scale, because it's just the only way you're gonna change things. But it's horrible to have these discussions again, and no doubt it will happen again throughout the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a pain in the arse. Fair play to the three guys for having the balls to call it out, and hopefully they don't have to go through that again. They probably will, which is a sad thing. But yeah.
Last thing, we'll finish on Twitter questions.
Oi!
See if there's any decent ones. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing. Help us out a lot.
Yes.
A lot of people watch, like 50% watch that aren't subscribed.
That is scandalous.
Aye.
We're on 5,400 now.
Are we?
That's pretty good going, actually.
Flying. Get us to 10k trips.
Aye, fucking right. Ryan got 30k.
Congrats to Ryan on his 30k.
I noticed he congratulated himself via the TSF Twitter.
It was me.
Oh, fuck off. I know it was you, but I didn't want to.
No, I'm kidding on. It was. I liked the response for his mate.
Who was it?
Jordan.
Oh, Jai.
He done the Randy Orton picture and it said, hey boys.
Right, Twitter questions. What did we get here?
We can't do a quiz, obviously, because it's just me and David.
Yes. We've not got that many Twitter questions, so we've probably covered it again as per usual. Craig Stewart, who I recognise that name on Twitter, is he a Falkirk fan? No, maybe he's not, I don't know.
Hopefully no, hopefully he's not watching and listening to you talk about
filming a relegation candidate if Peter Grant stays. Yes, they are.
I think they're nailed on.
They're 100% a relegation candidate if he stays, yes. Sideshow Bob asks, how long before the fans turn on Ange? Is that yesterday was unacceptable.
Listen, you will get a minority of people now that will be annoyed and criticising the manager, but I think the vast majority of Celtic fans will definitely be giving him more time.
You know the ones that are going to criticise Ange are the ones that back Lynn.
Probably.
That'll happen. That yesterday was unacceptable. The changes were made too late, and the decision to bring Beaton on was baffling. The two players that got pass marks were Hart and Carter Vickers. We had no plan B. It's really concerning, needs to improve ASAP. I said it earlier, I think the biggest concern was the lack of an obvious plan B, which can't be helped when he's got nothing on the bench to change it in an attacking sense. You've got to feel for him a little bit when you've got to bring on Neo Beaton and Ismail Assoro to win a game.
That's a mental, isn't it?
You are struggling big time. Are Rangers just lacking a killer instinct just now?
Absolutely, yeah.
You think if Morelos and Roof hit proper goal scoring performances, that would probably turn things around?
Of course.
But then what about the goals they're conceding?
If you can score more, do you know, Rangers have still scored 11 and conceded 5, still top of the league and all that, but going back to the weekend, they did in a number of occasions, and I know that Motherwell set up the 4-3-3, they weren't totally negative, Motherwell, for all that they, time wasted and all that, and dived. Rangers cut them open in a number of opportunities, but the finishing was atrocious, so I think they definitely are missing a killer instinct. I think Gerrard even said it. Morelos didn't start in the game, Roof played, Fashion, right, aye.
Yeah,
to answer your question,
that's pretty much it. We've covered the rest. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to bring up. Not so sure. Keith Lasley's birthday today. 42.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I feel like he's looked about 42 since he was about 32. But
I know, man. He has, isn't he?
Anything else? I'm just scrolling through Twitter because I hate doing these shows and missing things. But no, I
was like the show that I missed, the Power Cut. And
oh yeah.
I don't know how.
You missed that. I remember me and Ryan did a show back with, I think it was the third show we did, and as we were walking out of the studio in the college, Kenny Miller left Thistle to go to Australia or something, and we just done a big bit on how Kenny Miller, if he started scoring for Thistle, might help him turn around. And just as we walked out, he left. I was like, oh yeah, fucker.
Did you still put it out?
Yeah.
Classic TSF.
Well, I tell you what. See, to be fair, you go back and listen to the first few shows we did in this channel were some of the best in terms of like actual quality, because there was no footage right enough, but the audio quality was really good. We're in like a proper recording studio, soundproof and all that kind of. It was really good, and that was back before I kind of I was trying to be very professional in those early shows. You go and watch the first few shows. I've got a different voice. I'm trying to be a little bit like old school proper media. Like,
right. So if you had to coach
I don't think I sweared in like the first 15 episodes.
No. Right. So see, if you're trying to get me a media job, mate, with my accent,
you're more than qualified enough yourself.
No, I know that. But if my accent was a problem, which it is to some people in the comments,
but
on a regular appearance,
I'm quite lucky anyway that I don't have a strong accent one way or the other. Do you think? Like I don't have a
yes,
proper
but you
strong
speak
accent.
with proper words. Aye, sometimes.
Do I?
Yeah. So what would I have to do? Speak like this a little bit more?
Just get good, mate.
Just start talking like this?
Yeah, the raise the eyebrow was good there.
Aye, absolutely. Yeah. I've just said aye. That's me fucked.
Aye. Okay, I know. How now, Brinko?
We'll end it there then, mate.
Yeah, well...
We've fucking been here for long enough.
We have. What else is going to happen the next couple of weeks? Don't know. One show a week. That's just what we do.
I know.
Somebody said we had a bad upload schedule. Piss off. We've got a really good upload schedule.
Yeah, we're still
one
uploading
of the best
once
on
a
YouTube.
week.
It's consistent.
It is. Consistently shite.
Yes. Yeah, we keep saying we're going to get the finger out and it's probably never going to happen.
No.
We're here in 20 years' time doing one show a week.
It's tough, see when you've got fucking...
lives and jobs.
Hunters
and
going on.
Oh, a kid.
Well, kids maybe, I don't know.
Shout out that mini golf place again.
I didn't even mention that.
Did we not?
No, it was the first one.
Oh, the first one we never.
If you've made it all the way to the end,
oh, we
put in the comments.
What's the name of the place? We'll get them to put
Golf
the name.
Fang.
Golf Fan.
Golf Fang.
Golf Fang.
Or Fang Golf. Put that in the comment section if you've made it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Basically, I was there last week before the Leon game.
Spent a lot of money.
Oh, aye. Invited.
That's what happens when you're as famous as Div is.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Right. See you later.
Catch.